All right. So if everybody's good to go, excuse me. What would you guys say you spend your character spend their typical day doing? What does a typical day look like for your characters? Where do they hang out? What do they do? Do they have day jobs? Are they layabouts? What's going on?
Well, I find if you just hang out by the good places, they will put food right outside the back doors.
Yes, they will.
I'll probably take a
Joego...
nice stroll through the streets a bit. Maybe busk a little. Meet some new people, of course. That sounds fun.
How about Oliver and Jardon? Or Robin and Jardon?
Well, Robin would spend a little bit of the day as Vandermouse, and when he does that, he basically goes around to all the dressmakers and the tailors and finds out when the next parties are coming up, who just came in to get fitted for that, so he knows when people are going to be gone, so he knows when he can break into people's houses and steal stuff. Kind of gone real deep on this one. So he does that for a few hours in the morning, and then for the rest of the time he just lounges about, because he works at night. So really, as Robin Steele, he just kind of he hangs out and has a lot of fun. But when it gets down to the mission, he's ready to go.
Nice.
Jardon is very likely in the sewers beneath the city and tending to his garden, which he cultivates with the magic soil from above that just comes and comes. It's unlimited. And he's cultivated a crop of fungi and other things growing down there. And when he's not doing that, he'll be just going his daily rounds looking for shinies, and anything that shouldn't be down there either gets sent back above or gets banished if he can help it. Anything unnatural there.
Nice. So at some point during this day that you guys are just spending it doing your typical day-to-day stuff, a small critter approaches you. For those of you above ground, it's like a pigeon, but for Jardon down in the Undercity, it's a rat. It's not necessarily an unusual occurrence, and the animal approaches you in a very deliberate and unanimal-like manner, before sort of waiting till it's got your attention before delivering a very eloquent message to you. And in the voice of that you recognize as Zelekai, it says, "Meet me at my manse first thing tomorrow. We have matters of urgency to discuss." And it's like a midday at this point.
Okay, Tweet, I will go.
So it's Joego, the sort of the bird flits off and makes a beeline back for Zelekai's manse now that you've given it your response.
So I just go and basically run across rooftops and just go wait outside of his house until the time.
He was like, "You're a little early." He's got making dinner. You're like, ah.
Yeah, he's inside like cooking his dinner and stuff, and I'm outside cooking dinner as well. I got my pots and pans out, and I built a little fire out there. There may or may not be a pigeon in it.
Like, looks at his pocket watch. He's a little early. Should I let him inside? He doesn't have that kind of. His pantry's running a little low right now.
I may start gathering children to me to feed them. Come, little ones, come.
An impromptu soup kitchen, a pop-up soup kitchen.
Eat with Joego feed. Come, cook, good.
How about everybody else?
Well, I will wait till the appointed time.
Okay.
And then be 5 minutes late.
5 minutes late. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you like spend the rest of the day in the evening doing your normal stuff.
Yeah. Just,
Gotcha.
Case a few joints. Might go nab something that night before I go to bed.
A little escapade.
Yeah.
Oliver and Jardon, how do you spend the rest of your day?
Go ahead, Oliver.
Oliver would continue on about and, be like, yeah, of course I'll be there, no problem. And he'll continue strolling about. Maybe he'll kind of keep his eyes peeled for Robin or Joego or one of the other people that he's become acquaintance with. And beyond that, he'll just casually stroll about his day and making new friends and playing for a bit of coin. And he'll just show up at the appropriate time. Quiver at the ready, but
so I think casual. I think at some point you guys come across Jogo's pop-up soup kitchen that he set up. It's like a small crowd of hungry street urchins and beggars have formed around him.
Jardon will greet the rat in an enthusiastic way. Very happy to get visitors sometimes when he knows and understands them, and will, understanding about when the time is. He'll make his way to the nearest sewer grate exit near the mansion, but kind of wait until about he feels the right time. Even though he smelled Jogo's cooking, it's not as fresh as what he's cultivating down below. So,
yeah. My
I like
goodness, Joego, what have you captured over there?
Just some lunch. Oh, wait a minute. It's morning breakfast.
It's breakfast.
Is that
But it's
a
still lunch. It's still
squirrel?
lunch from yesterday, isn't it?
Oh, dreadful.
There is a squirrel tail absolutely sticking out of the pot, and he pushes it back in. No, Joego would not eat squirrels.
No squirrel eating, just pigeons, just those dirty, nasty pigeons. So you find yourself this morning. It's somebody roll me a D4 if they can. We got a 4.
How's that action? We got a 4.
Yeah, 4. Let's call it. It's early winter in the city, so it doesn't get super cold here. Winters tend to be chilly and wet. But it's just chilly enough that you want a nice coat and prefer a warm fire and a warm beverage to sort of like being out in the morning here. Now, normally in the morning, Zelekai sees his sort of regular clients, and there's like a long line that would be outside of his manse. This morning, as you approach sort of the walled off courtyard that he has, and he's sort of like a domed ziggurat that functions as his home. Sort of the gardens around the ziggurat are allowed to grow wild. They're unkempt. It's just whatever lives in here kind of lives in here, partially as a deterrent, partially because he just sort of likes it that way. And as you make your way in through the front gate up towards the front door, walking through here, normally there would be a big long line of clients waiting to see Zelekai for a variety of different reasons. The morning time is when you do that kind of thing. And so far there's no one here, which strikes you all as odd. Normally you'd have to wait to see him. But there's no wait as you walk from the front gates up the steps of the ziggurat into Zelekai's manse. Anytime, usually when it's like free form like this, I don't mind if you guys jump in, tell me what you're doing, riff off something somebody else said. Feel free to talk over me if the inspiration strikes.
So I immediately march in and go into the meeting room wherever we usually gather, and I go over to the corner and kind of squat there and try and make myself a little bit smaller than normal and fit in.
He, normally you meet Zelekai in his sort of receiving room that he has, where he sort of is seated at a chair with either one of his apprentices or his butler that's sort of helping him out. Right now, you don't see his apprentice, whose name is Curio. You do not see him, and it's instead one of Zelekai's many sort of like aerial servants or summoned and bound creatures that answers the door and wordlessly, quietly, silently lets you in. Zelekai's pacing around the room. He seems visibly nervous and somewhat agitated as he's sort of like messing with like spell components and arcane foci and things like that.
Where Curio?
Zelekai sort of snaps a look at you and sort of almost like, oh my god, you guys are here already. looks at you and says, Joego, that's a very good question. And why I've called you here this morning, I'm deeply troubled that I have not heard from Curio since at least yesterday morning. And it's one of the reasons that I asked you here. Actually, the reason that I asked you here. Sort of like flustered, he sits down and sort of gestures for you to join him at a small table that he has set up in his receiving room.
Did Curio have breakfast?
He was like,
I think it's a bit more troublesome than that, Joego. Zelekai, tell us more. What
Now that
going
it's
on?
5 minutes late, I'll walk in.
it's like, Robin, please sit down. And an unseen servant or something brings out a tray of good, coffee or something. Little baked goods on it. Invites you all to tuck in as he explains to you that he's missing. Curio I sent him on an errand a few days ago, and I haven't heard from him since, like I said, yesterday morning. He was north in the neighborhood, just along the border with the burned out district. I fear and suspect the worst, of course, and my own investigations have revealed that potentially the Yavo and his street thugs have something to do with it. But he just sort of like throws his hands up in frustration. But I have not been able to discover more than that, and I need your expertise.
Around a mouthful of Danish while stuffing one into a pocket. Oh, Jardon, he is a good finder. He can find anything. And I pull out a ferret out of my pocket. Badger, he found Badger. Jardon will help.
It's like I nod sagely at Jogo's comment. Yes, Jardon can help.
Is Jardin here at this point? Yes, we're all four present.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, let's go ahead and say that everybody has either made it or now is the time to make your dramatic entrance.
Yeah, so leading up to this, about the appointed time, Jordan would have come out carefully, cautiously, looked at the others, friends that associates, would have talked with them a little bit, kind of questioned them, asked them how they are, how they've engage in discussion with them just a bit before Joego kind of charges into the next part. But otherwise, he's been kind of sitting quietly at the back in this room, not sitting, standing quietly at the back, kind of looking cautiously, because the last time he was here, he got summoned for not a pleasant thing, but he's with his pal Robin, who he saved when he was a kid a bunch of times, and his other buds. That he's curious and excited for what might be to come.
Zelekai, did Curio perchance disappear into the sewers? Is that why you have summoned Jardin?
I think it's a distinct possibility. I'm afraid that he's run afoul of the of Yavo's gang, or that they are somehow involved. I suspect the sewers simply because I have not been able to find him. By way of sort of out of character, by way of just sort of background, the sewers and the Undercity in general it's notoriously difficult to find things. All that damn rock just messes with spells. And the weird arcane energy of the place. So that sort of explains why he didn't just like scry on Curio and figure out where he is. But switching back in character, Zelekai's like my as I said, my own investigations into it have proved fruitless. And he's like throws himself back in his chair and starts sipping his drink. I suspect that the sewers are somehow involved. I told him to stay away from it. He's not to go to the Undercity, but the errand I sent him on was rather dangerous. I should have I should have done different. I should have sent him alone. He's just sort of like starts beating himself up and full of like angst and self-doubt.
Hey,
yes.
Zell, buddy, calm. It's okay, man. We're gonna get on this. But the errand you sent him on, I mean, would it be possible that he'd go to the Undercity? I mean, could he accomplish his mission by going there? Not asking what it is. I know how you are.
Mm-hmm. Now he shakes his head at that. He had no reason to travel to the Undercity. No.
So Joego does something he doesn't really do too often when he's around others, but he stands to his full height, kind of puffs out his chest a little bit, and then begins squeezing his hands into fists till the knuckles are still popping. Zelekai say gangs.
Yes. And so there's a couple of background things that actually did forget something. Some couple of background information that might be relevant here to your character's conversation. Yavo is a half orc, half troll that just runs a gang of street toughs and former mercenaries and ex-gladiators and things like that. He's known in the neighborhood. His turf is more towards the northern edge of the neighborhood, and for the most part, he's not like doesn't necessarily run like a protection racket or anything, but it's known that if you need some muscle, if you want a job done and you don't care how it gets done or who gets hurt, that Yavo is one to call for that. And then the other thing would be part of the reason why Zelekai is so agitated is that over the last couple of weeks, several minor magic users and sort of fortune tellers and alchemists and things like that have turned up brutally murdered in a very sort of odd particular way. Their bodies are found with deep bruises around their mouths, noses, and ears. They appear to have been strangled. And so these murders have sort of the people on the Street of Spells a little on edge, a little nervous, particularly those who just sort of cast a single spell out of a tent or a shop somewhere, or read somebody's fortune, that kind of thing. And so Zelekai's that crucial and obviously vital piece of information that your DM should have given to you much earlier might explain why Zelekai's a little bit agitated there.
So one of the questions you would put to us is like, well, what did you do to gain these levels? I feel like Joego spent a lot of time fighting gangs because he's always trying to steer children away from the gangs.
Right. So you might have had run-in with Yavo's thugs before. They have an odd sense of honor, and they are killers and pretty brutal when they need to be, but at the same time, they're not so nasty and cutthroat that everybody's just risen up against them and driven them out of the neighborhood. That's how you would know them.
My dear Zelekai, there's been all sorts of nasty business occurring up in the abandoned district. What on earth could you possibly have sent Curio off alone for that was so urgent?
He kind of he sort of shoots Oliver a look, and in that look says that it's like, well, you might as well just fess up because you're gonna ferret out the truth anyway. And
it's badger out the truth.
Yes, that's very badger out the truth. He replies, Curio was to commune with a ghost there who had information that I needed. He was protected against anything that the ghost might do to him, but I'm afraid that some other threat might have found Curio. What I needed the information for, please don't pry. I don't want to have to.
And you're quite confident now that the ghost was incapable of doing any sort of dealing any misfortune to our dear Curio?
Zelekai seems wounded and deeply hurt by your insinuation that his magical protections would somehow not protect Curio from a ghost. Although he understands
Zelekai,
that you're...
I do not mean any offense by this, of course. I'm simply ferreting out the information.
Badgering it out.
badgering him.
Mollified, Zelekai replies, "No, I provided him sufficient protection that Ghost shouldn't steal his life force or take possession of him. But as I said, I'm not confident that something didn't happen. I would be able to find him if he were simply in the burned out district somewhere."
Well, have any of you had any run-ins as of late in the abandoned district? I kind of look back over to Jardon specifically.
Not proper or kind that area. Many not nice things creep and come down. Not good to go there alone. I am sorry you have lost your precious one. It is never good to lose what you value. Huh? We will find. Yes.
Zelekai nods very appreciatively at Jardon and even like comes over and gives him a hearty and clap on the shoulders. "Thank you. I knew I could trust you," he says to the group. And it's in that moment you can Zelekai's a man of a human, for one, roughly middle aged, but as a wizard it's always hard to tell. They all drink life extending potions and things like that. But he's healthy, takes good care of himself, and he just looks haggard and looks really like he hasn't slept in who knows when, and is just kind of a hot mess now that you kind of get a good look at him and see. Anyone who has the skill can make me an insight roll. I don't know if that's if anybody's up on the VTT yet. Yeah, we do.
I got it.
Oh, look at that. Bam,
Yeah.
22.
22. Yeah, something is clearly Jardon just gets the impression. Of course, how you relate to these sunwalkers, as you said, is sometimes difficult, but you just get the impression that he is holding something back, and like I said, seems visibly pretty visibly agitated, but is also not.
Jordan will lean over to Robin, who he knows is better at talking at this kind of stuff. Zelekai is hiding. He's worried, yes, but perhaps there is something deeper. I'm not sure I can ask him.
All right. Let me see what I can do.
Yes.
Hey, Zell there. What gives, man? How long have we known each other, huh? Wait, what are you hiding? What are you hiding from us?
He kind of turns. He's sort of like pouring himself a little refill into his coffee. I have a little silver pitcher there. He at first he seems like he's going to deflect, which is like my apprentice is missing. I'm upset. Looked all over for him, can't find him, and has kind of a look on his face that he hopes that's enough for you. It's like
Okay, well, just wanted to do the best job we can for you because you've always been there for us. So
you're gonna guilt him into telling the truth.
Those are your words, not mine, sir. Okay.
But yes,
he has a in response to Robin's comment. Zelekai, a look of fear and regret pass over Zelekai's face momentarily, and he hides it with his mug.
And I assume, have I ever seen fear and regret on Zelekai's face before?
Not often. I mean, this guy summons all kinds of random stuff out of the ether and puts it to work. And that kind of thing.
Does this have anything to do with those? What's been going on in the streets there with the mages?
His face turns like white as a sheet, and he just kind of like gives you a look that's sort of like a yes without saying yes.
Okay.
I'm afraid I can't say more.
What can you? I mean, I assume you're going to tell us exactly where you sent him, or are you?
Where I sent Curio?
Yeah. Who'd you send him to talk to? Maybe they saw him. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Somebody had to say it. I'm sorry. There's a former associate of mine who was unable to make it out of the blaze that destroyed the neighborhood. I was sending him to speak with his ghost, sending Curio to speak with my former associate's ghost. Perhaps if Curio is found alive, you can help him finish that. But it's more important that Curio is alive. I can obtain the information another way or at a later time. Okay.
I'm glad to hear that. Zelekai? And I kind of shut him like a little look, like, come on, man.
He the tenor and tone of it is one that he wants to. He has the demeanor of someone who wishes he could tell you the truth, but seems visibly afraid about that prospect.
So much talk. Let's go get Curio.
Yes, I believe Joego is right. Let's not waste any more time. It could be quite pressing for our friend Curio.
All right.
Thank you. He sits back down. When you return, hopefully with Curio alive and well, I will tell you everything. But until then, I need to know that he's well, and I need to know that he's safe.
Are you going to eat the rest of these?
He's like, it's too much. Take what you want. And he realizes who he's talking to, and he takes one last one for himself.
Joego should have taken a bag of holding so he could just
There you go.
Dumping it in there.
Jardon
Put
will
gravy back in the bag of holding again, damn it.
Jardon will walk awkwardly over to the mage and fumble around for something, kind of maybe a little bejeweled flower, this little cracked and tarnished, or something that he might think he'll put it down on the table, right next to him. We will find him.
Yeah, Zelekai looks at you with red rimmed eyes and just the look of someone who's seen much better days, and he thank you, Jardon. Thank you.
We will find him. Back away.
He sort of switches to business mode here at the end as you guys are all getting up and getting ready to leave. If you incur any expenses or trouble on your while you're out there, don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll do what I can to assist you. And then he gestures forth, and out of somewhere in his robe, his actual familiar, who you know as an owl by the name of Corynx, Cornyx. I will send Corynx with you, and if I need to, we can communicate through him. Otherwise, I will be here, seeing what I can do. And he just sort of leaves it at that.
Of course, we will get you the invoice. Joego, my man?
Yes, let's do this fast. No burnt place. Nothing good to eat there.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll find you something.
All right, so you guys leave Zelekai's manse with full bellies and I don't know, perhaps questions, maybe some answers.
Not many
Yeah.
answers.
Not many answers. No,
Not many answers, no.
I mean,
Jardon will tap the others. It is this concerning. Zelekai always so mighty, now so sad.
Yeah,
Very dangerous.
yeah. He seems to have taken quite a blow to his confidence. I don't know.
It hurts to lose what you love.
Yeah,
He missed the little one, Curio.
yeah.
Yes, you were not that little long ago. We found you, Robin. Yes, and all of you have worked hard for saving the little ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I do not have little one of own, but would be so sad to have lost anything. Yes.
Yeah. It's a rough time.
It's no good.
Well, that would be a wonderful thought, wouldn't it? Jardon being a father, and I could imagine you with quite a little litter.
Yeah, what is the proper for that? What's
Clutch.
a clutch?
clutch, yeah.
Ah, my apologies. Perhaps one day.
Need girlfriend. not many, you know.
Did you hear that, Joego? Jardon is lonely.
Well, he does live beneath. Not a lot of people down there.
Very nice. You've been a while since you have seen it. I have grown new tree this high now. It is sprouting fruits.
Oh, I would love to go see it sometime.
Fruit? I want to see it as well.
We have celebration when we find a Curio.
Yeah, we'll see.
I kind of look
See
over
about
Robin
that.
like,
I have many dishes that I have been working on long time. You have not visited me in quite a while.
It is true. Something always does seem to come up. I don't know. It's just I live a busy
time
life.
flies. You know, it's we're busy.
Yeah.
Things happen, but we'll
Yeah.
be happy to visit your garden.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, very kind to say.
I bet it is the most splendid garden in all of the Undercity. No doubt about that, Jardon.
So when we come out of the of his house, there's like a knot of kids waiting because they know. And so as we're talking, I'm like trying to subtly pass the sweets out that I had just taken, and I keep just moving along, like handing it behind me.
Right.
And Jim, I assume that people have seen, like, Curio goes out for the wizard all the time, so people around town know him, right?
Yes, people around town know him. Yeah.
Okay, well,
he's a known.
while Jago's doing that, I'm just going to be asking the kids, be like, hey, Curio there? When's the last time you seen him? And just kind of casing, canvassing the area, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Whether that needs an investigate check, I don't know.
I think we're just going to go with a straight charisma roll for that. I can make it for you if you need it.
Plus one.
We'll have Jardon mending shoes and torn clothing to maybe improve their interactions and spirits.
Sure. Yeah, these kids love you guys. It's like, like you're passing out like Danishes and donuts and things, and just sort of like chatting them up and fixing their broken shoes and ripped coats, and yeah, they love you guys. There's like 20 of them all around you. Robin finds out, yeah, they've seen him. He, a couple of days ago, one of them says through a mouthful of powdered sugar donut. They saw him a couple of days ago. He was north of the Auger's Eye, which you know to be north of where you are now. I have a rough. Here, I'm going to blow you guys' minds with the technology that I've got over here. This map. I don't know how well it's you guys can see it, but I will. I'll have something scanned in by tomorrow so that you guys can actually take a look at it. So the way the neighborhood's laid out, the orphanage in Zelekai is more towards the south. It's south of the central street that runs through the neighborhood. And the Augur's Eye is north of that central street. So yeah, they saw him there the other day. They don't, like all street urchins and whatnot, they all have a different story about what they saw him do. Some of them may or may not be truthful, depending on what you're giving out in exchange for this information.
Well, I'm asking the ones that Jago's literally giving Danishes to as he's giving them. Yeah.
A narrative seems to coalesce around that he was seen. They're at one point a gaggle of them sort of pick up on this idea that he was in a big battle with a gang of goblins. Turns out to be not true, but they like to tell that story anyway. But the details that do seem consistent across every telling of it was that he was north of the Augur's Eye, heading that way, and that he was in fact seen with several low-ranking members of Yavo's gang. Although they were just sort of with him.
All right.
Jardon will lean over towards after mending another shoe or torn pockets, kind of skulk over to Oliver and ask him, "You know much, always, many stories about up and above. I have not heard about burning. Only smell."
Yes, terrible business. A few mages got in a bit of a spat about casting a fireball and whatnot, and before we knew it, it just burned the whole damn town down.
Yeah, it really sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty quick too, and most people didn't make it out alive.
Yeah.
You should have seen what they did with the mages when they caught them. Awful, dreadful business, really.
What did they do?
Perhaps it's a bit best not to talk about it too much with the children about.
Were they involved?
The children.
Not quite.
Yes, the children.
I'm kind of like trying to like appease him, and I'm kind of looking over at Robin and Joego for help.
What they do? Just tell them you know what drawn and quartered is? Yeah, it was something like that.
It was
pictures.
It was dreadful, really. I don't think you should dwell on it too long, Jardon.
But if we go above, then we look below. What is above comes below. And if we know what is above, help no story of what is below.
Perhaps that is true, but to my knowledge, it is just a bit of an abandoned square at the moment. A few ruffians, of course, take place there. If Zelekai was looking to speak to a ghost or have Curio do so, perhaps he could find one. Many lost their lives in the Great Fire.
So not safe. Good thing we have Joego. He's big and not.
That's true. His muscles. He'll be fine.
But cannot punch ghosts. No.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but perhaps we'll find out.
Jago, have you ever punched a ghost?
Joego never see ghost. Joego run if he see ghost.
So
no,
that's important to know. I'm glad we know that. We've settled that now, guys. Okay, Jogo's gonna run.
So in the year since that part of the district burned down, there has been an infestation of ghosts and other sort of various forms of incorporeal undead. They mostly keep to wherever it is that they died, but a few of them wander out sometimes. An exorcist or something has to be wrangled to take care of it. But mostly it's that no one has done the hard work. The real real crap work of clearing the whole place out to make it habitable again. So it is sort of a nasty place now, and has contributed a great deal towards the neighborhood that you're in. Their sort of like general downward spiral of fortunes. Just by way of background. So you guys are here, sort of slowly making your way north from Zelekai's Vance, surrounded by a gaggle of street urchins, who most of them have peeled off and gone their separate ways, but there are a few of them that are still kind of hanging around. Like, you got any more treats in that pocket? Or I know a ton of stuff. You guys just have to ask me, and all it takes is just a little coin. Something like that.
And that's what the kids are doing? They're trying
That's what the kids
to
are doing,
extort us at the moment?
Yeah, they're like, come on, we know a whole bunch of stuff. Do you want to know about this thing and that thing? What about this other guy that we're missing?
No, what about last week, right? Right? When we came by with those loaves of bread?
Like, totally. We loved that bread. And, what do you want? We'll give it to you so you can give us some more bread or a Danish or croissant, something like that.
Robin, do you want to send them off to go scatter about town like a bunch of hooligans looking for information?
Oh, Robin, what about the others? Did they see others who died?
Oh, the other mages, yes.
Hurt? See anything of this if it is connected?
Yeah. Let's I'll tell you what, kids. Keep your eyes open. If you see anything, these casters, these spellcasters, these guys, these types with their spells. Keep your eyes on them. Somebody's knocking them off. It's not good times.
No, they any mention of this mysterious and much upset what's its name murderer is they like, spooked, like, he wants us to, oh my goodness. And some of them get scared, and others of them are all brave, and then a fist fight breaks out between two of them over one of them.
I just grab them both and pull them apart, and I'm patting the air with the children. Very important. Stay away from the bad people, and no gangs. Little ones, no join gang.
And they're like, yes, yeah. They know who's they know Joego. They know what he brings them and the kind of treats that he has. So they listen to him, just like, yeah, we got you. Stay away from the gangs. Don't go messing with ghosts.
Pat them on their head, ruffle their little hair.
Yeah.
I basically palm their heads like basketballs.
And then send them on their way. Be gone with you.
Speaking of treat, I forgot. Special batch just finished. If thing gets difficult or scary, and you hurt or you are hungry. And he brings out from his many pockets what look like bluish berries, and hands one to each of you, and then a few to the kids. With casting Goodberry, heals a hit point. That can save someone.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
I grow them very special.
We keep them under our tongues just in case. You bite down if we're going down.
Special musky flavor with this I try. Joego like cooking. How it tastes, you tell me, please.
I'll let you know as soon as I have it.
You
I can't
save
wait.
this for a special occasion, Jardon.
Oh, it is very filling and
very special
magical.
occasion.
Fortified with vitamins and iron. Yes, everything you need. I eat them all day.
Well, I don't pretend to know anything about you druids, but I'm sure they're great. Yeah.
No, when you were a small child and I would rescue you after you went crying from the monastery. I mean,
I don't know if there was crying, okay? I don't know if there was crying.
Robin, come on. There was a bit of crying.
You weren't there.
Oh, you ate these berries all day long, and I tell you over and over, No, Robin, it is not done ready yet. It is still just fertilized. But you always said, no, I love the taste when it is fresh out of the ground most of all. And you are just eating and eating and eating non-stop, filling your face with the berries.
And crying the whole
Not like
time. I remember this. Yes, of course, Jardon.
You promised me you'd never talk about that ever.
I pat him on his back. It's okay, cry sometime.
Real men
lean
cry also.
I lean into Robin. I'm sorry for playing along, but can you blame me?
That's fine.
Robin, I am sorry. I thought it was here. No, sorry. He's very brave, man. No longer wetting at all.
You told me to refill your bathtub, okay?
So you guys are making your way north through the alleyways and streets while discussing the particulars of how many times you've had one of Jardon's, what I'm going to call good dingleberries.
Please don't, Dave. Please don't, Joe.
They're so nutritious. Come on.
In my head canon, that's what they are. Good dingleberries. So you pass the main street, the main boulevard, that is just a riot of stalls and tents and little pavilions that have been set up where everybody and his dog, some of whom are legitimate spellcasters and others of whom are just very, very good at conning other people out of their hard-earned coin. Most of them probably don't have enough magic in them to cast a cantrip. The spells that they know are very specific, very minor, but that's what passes for magic on the street of spells. There's a few of them who own actual like storefronts, who might have enough, who might know a first level spell that they cast for money or put to good use of some kind. There are a lot of sages, a lot of scholars, a lot of alchemists, fortune tellers, faith healers, that kind of thing that are on the street. So you're crossing north through there and sort of accosted by people who swear that they can, just sit down and read your cards, or I'll do a star chart for you, or that kind of thing as you cross the main boulevard heading north.
Okay, if I'll just try to shoo them away, and if any of them get too close, I'm gonna pick their pocket.
Oh yeah, a lot of them get close.
Okay, well then I'm gonna pick one of their pockets.
All right.
I have a +6 on my sleight of hand.
I got you right here. Did you finish?
I finished the character. Yeah.
The character. All right. Let's see what you got. Oh, where are we going here? What do we got? I don't know. Where'd it go?
Oh.
There we go. We got a 12. So these people are not particularly perceptive. You managed to lift a little bit of something off one of them, but it was kind of sloppy. There's guy's probably going to know what's missing within a pretty short amount of time, but got a little trinket, a little something. What are you going for? Are you going for coins? Just whatever's in their pocket?
Oh, just something to annoy them because they won't get away from me. Actually, no. I'm gonna just try to pull their their belt or whatever to drop their pants to make them pay attention to something else.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no problem. You can easily unlatch a belt or pants somebody in the street without them knowing it. Like I said, most of these people aren't too perceptive.
Just trying to shift the embarrassment to someone else.
All right.
As we travel along, I'll slide up to Joego this time, and you remember when we went to find Badger together, and you were so worried.
Joego, remember? Jordan, good friend.
Is Zelekai very worried and very likely? Do not want him to have same sad as you, but if you remember, we did not find Badger because we hit things. We were very thoughtful. Remember, we sang his song, and he came very slowly. We had to wait a long time. So, glad you are here, but maybe not so fast, if it is scary.
Joego will help his friends.
Jogo always does. Yes.
Yes. I remember we were thoughtful, and I pushed my glasses up on my nose a little bit further. Joego, much more thoughtful now that he has his spectacles. They make Joego smarter.
Yes, it is beautiful find. Looks so good on you.
It is. I remember when Jardon gave them to me. I treasure them always.
Yes, they were in particularly special part of sewer. You keep them very close to your face.
I will. You always keep your home so nice. I just wish the ceilings were higher.
Yes, I am sorry. I did not build it, but let us cook for Robin and Oliver when this is all over. Yes, I have special ingredient for you to use.
Oh, Joego would like that very much. Joego like to cook.
Yes, Jogo is so good cooking. Robin and Oliver, they do not taste right. We should try to fix their mouths. They do not savor our goodness.
I have not tried tasting Robin or Oliver.
What's that, Pruitt?
Since I have a passive perception of 17, do I overhear them?
Probably, yeah.
Oh
You'll
God,
hear-
do we hear them at all?
I would
gonna be like-
imagine.
Just gonna kind of turn around and be like, none of y'all are eating us, okay? Or whatever it is you're talking about.
No, they're looking to fix our mouths, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Joego no eat friends.
No eat friends.
You just want to treat them to a nice dinner in your sewer home. This conversation continues for a while, the back and forth between the four of you as you continue north. The Auger's Eye, looks like a very large tavern slash hostel, is just north of the central street there, and as you get north of that, that's where you're starting to get into sort of Yavo's turf, where you start to see like members of his gang hanging out on street corners and just wandering around in pairs, that kind of thing.
As we kind of get into the abandoned district, what I'd like to do, Jim, is I want to take out my wand and cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
And so I'm going to cast it, and then I'm going to pull out from my bag a devilish-looking mask and a black cloak. And I'm going to have the Unseen Servant hold the mask up to its face and pull the hood and the cloak down kind of low and tight, and just walk out in front of us. Just floating creepily with no feet, about 30 feet out in front of us, walking in front of us.
Okay. So you're trying to create what, like an apparition or something?
Yeah, I mean, the illusion that there's something creepy right there floating down the street.
Okay.
And this goes a bit with that Stalker of Nezra story that I've been spreading around town for the last year and a half.
Gotcha. Yeah, people give this thing a wide berth. They're like, what in the... weird sort of like specters and apparitions and things aren't entirely uncommon. This is sort of a planar nexus as well as an arcane ley line kind of nexus. But to see one just wandering the street in broad daylight like this, people are just like, they go to the other side of the street. They give it weird looks. And also, nobody's really paying attention to the four of you as this thing precedes you as you head up the street.
I would like to see if Jardon can remember anything about Curio, particularly anything he would wear very consistently as a means to locate objects connected to anything special, like some apprentice's necklace, whatever. I have the observant feat, if that helps.
Yes, that would help. Yeah, Curio wears, the same sort of jewelry, rings, amulets that you'd be familiar with. I would say you're definitely, looking at the spell description here, you're definitely familiar with sort of what he wears and the sort of the objects that he would have with him. Let's see.
So I figure it can be a thing as we begin to go along, pulling out the forked twig and letting it guide him just a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to happen immediately. Just kind of trying to sense out if anything like that is nearby.
Okay. Looking at it, yeah, you're starting to get feel a pull on the twig as it's leading you generally in the direction that you're already headed, but not like you guys are sort of headed, let's say, northwest. You can feel the tug of it going true north on the magic on the twig there.
I'll inform the others as we go along, but kind of let them also look for him in their own way.
Okay. Anybody else doing any casting or anything like that?
Well, once I see people start to cast and pull out stuff, I'm going to go into business mode. And,
okay.
What are the buildings around here like?
Most of the buildings around here are between 2 to 3 stories tall. Mm-hmm. Many of them are communal houses, you say, with a lot of people living in them, either tenement housing or like basically medieval apartments. Mm-hmm. This far off the central street, there's not a lot of commerce that gets done. This is mostly a residential area. And the people on the north side of the neighborhood, it's much less well off than that on the south side. So it's sort of tight packed housing, narrow alleyways between them, but the proper streets that run through here are broad. That's sort of the neighborhood that you're in right now.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to start keeping a lookout.
Okay. As you all continue north, I'm assuming that you guys are more following Jardon's spell than anything else. Am I correct in that assumption?
I will be following Jardon.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, if he starts to direct us like that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've told them what's happening. They've probably seen me do this a few times, just in our history.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you guys know that getting into the Undercity is there's numerous entrances to it, and it's more a matter of finding the right one that will get you into the right tunnels and whatnot. So the city itself is riddled with cellars, basements, cisterns, old sewers, things like that, and there are entrances all over the place. Most people that have some kind of basement or cellar have an entrance into this that they keep locked and barred, that kind of thing. So it creates a very claustrophobic and confusing maze-like sort of undercity. And so Jardon, I know that you mentioned sort of your familiarity with it is pretty intimate. And so you're passing through several known entrances that you are aware of and are heading towards an entrance that leads to a series of cisterns and sort of like the proper sewers, not just the Undercity, but actual sewers. That's where your spell is taking you.
We are called. He has been taken down, not just Undercity with goblins, but pipes.
Yeah. So we've got Robin over here who's doing business. Anybody else doing anything to prepare or anything like that? You guys, you'd guess you're just a couple minutes before you are getting off the streets and down into the gross underbelly of the city.
Okay.
I mean, I'll draw, but I mean, beyond that, I'm not going to do any additional like magics or anything like that to get ready.
Okay.
Robin is going to take one of his candles out and kind of break off 2 pieces of wax and roll them up and shove them up his nose.
All right. It's the smell. If there is
setting you up, brother.
I know. It's a new day. That's great. So, as you approach this sort of you're between these 2 rows of apartment buildings, walking along this narrow alleyway. The sky is completely blotted out by overhang. There's like clothes drying on lines in between the 2 buildings. You can hear the screams of children and people shouting as they go about their daily lives here, dodging weird stuff thrown out of the upper floors. Knots of people just hanging out, doing their thing. And as you are sort of walking down this narrow alleyway, it opens up into a small courtyard with a giant sort of rain grate in the middle of it. You can tell this sort of like where people around here keep and fetch sort of water that they use for non-drinking purposes. And Jardon's spell is telling him that this grate is it. And it's at that moment that you feel the magic of the spell cut off before you realize that the spell, the natural duration spell, would have otherwise ended. You can feel it cut off prematurely.
Something is wrong.
What? What is it, Jardon?
I cannot feel it anymore. He squints his eyes. Cannot sense it suddenly. Curio's amulet is... Something is happening.
We should make haste then.
Down there.
Is the grate locked?
Yeah, it's locked.
I can take care of that.
Okay. I don't know why I keep closing down your character sheet in this thing, but I do.
It's gonna be a +9.
+9 for your thieves' tools. There you go. Man, I am rolling crap for you tonight.
A 5 total.
Why do you
14.
hate me?
Damn.
Why do I hate you so much? 14. I mean, it takes you a while. I'm not going to hold up the whole game because of a crappy roll like this for freeform like that. But it takes Robin a couple of tries to get through this thing. It's rusted and gross and like caked and gunk and grease and stuff. But it opens eventually.
Okay.
Roll the 5. BS. Good grief, DM. Come on. Get your act together. So Robin eventually gets the lock popped on this thing. And you guys are presented with a vertical shaft leading down into the sewers. It descends about 20 feet. You can see that there's a large cistern underneath it. It smells horrible, quite honestly. And you can see sunlight reflecting off some sort of brackish water that's flowing underneath the grate.
My friends, we must have caution. This is not sewers that I know well. Stay away. Not all
Perhaps
as good and pleasant as mine.
Perhaps a more silent approach.
Hmm?
I kind of look at the group, and then I will go into and I will cast silence.
Sweet.
So after he does that, well, you won't hear me say anything, but I will grab the grate.
Everybody mute their mics.
And pull it away from the ground.
Okay.
And just cast it aside.
Yeah, it's all quiet. Nobody hears any of that business.
What is the diameter of the shaft?
It's 10 feet.
Oh, 10 feet. So I can.
Hey-o.
I am just going to go in and put my feet on either side and hands on either side and just start shimmying down.
Okay. Yeah, Joego just like treats this thing like it's nothing and shimmies down. The cistern begins about 5 feet down, so it's like to the water is 20 feet, but the walls of the shaft sort of disappear after 15, so you'd have to jump the last little bit there. Who else is so Jogo's down there checking things out. What about the rest of the crew?
I'll go ahead and nimbly,
I'll
jump
point.
down there.
I'll point, nod, head down. Trying to keep
All
the
right.
silence right behind Joego.
Okay. You guys setting up some kind of rope, or are you just gonna like take a plunge?
I
I'm
kinda
going
thought
to
there was a
try
way
and jump to
climb
the
down.
side.
All right. Well-
I have I think I have a 7 to athletics.
Let's see. Okay. All right, that's not it. Open up the wrong one. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm showing you have a 5 to athletics. I don't know if that's the correct one, or if we need to. Or sorry, for some reason I was looking at acrobatics. 7. You can go ahead and roll this. You're already on the tabletop. Do you want me to roll it for you, or you got it?
Let's see. So I see the skill, and I think if I click it,
Using fantasy grounds here.
yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Pretty easy enough to make these rolls.
All right, let's see.
It feels a little dicey, right? Because you drag and drop it into the thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty satisfying how it.
Oh, that's right.
No doubt.
No, that's not right. How is it? Sorry, guys, as I figure this out.
No problem.
Well, Jardin's going to turn into a
There it
lizard
goes.
and,
Jardon turns into a lizard.
and walks.
There we
down.
go. That's a roll. So like Joego just like makes this thing look absolutely effortless.
And I'm gonna try to follow behind him. So why don't you roll for me, and I'm sure it'll turn out great.
Oh, don't be so defeatist, Pruitt. Watch me roll a 1 for you.
Here it comes.
Please roll a 1. Pretty please roll a 1.
18. There we go. Look at that, Robin, with the excellent skill roll there. Robin makes it down with no problems. You said Jardin turns into a lizard.
He can turn into a giant lizard, which can be ridden as a mount. So he'll turn into that and look at a hissing face at Oliver, knowing that.
That's why I went ahead and jumped down. I knew I'm not gonna mount him.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
So lizards have a climb speed. He'll just climb down and
Oh yeah,
Nice.
we'll make that happen.
around.
All right. So you guys all make it down there, varying forms of grace and prowess, and find yourself in a cistern, sort of a domed cavity within the sewers. The water here, for those of you that are normal sized, would be about knee deep. So probably like 18 inches to 2 feet of water. And it's kind of gross. There's stuff floating in it, like debris and street trash that fell down the grate.
Treasures.
Yes. And yes, correct. Silence does not travel, so the silence spell stays up above.
Centered on me, I thought.
I believe it's centered on an object.
I thought it was centered on me. I could be mistaken. I thought that was kind of
Let's
the
go ahead
whole.
and look.
All right, let's be the rules lawyer here. Who knows the ruling in the chat?
I do believe it's
You're centered on a
it's-
point.
Yeah,
Is it centered on a
yeah,
point? Oh, okay. I thought it was centered.
I think
on
in previous, I think it's one of those things that in previous editions,
Ah.
that he was one of those. Where it's like, I'm gonna cast it on this guy, and he's
Yeah.
gonna have to deal with.
I've
it.
got
That's the wrong way.
I've got a spell for us as he shifts out and lets Oliver kind of settle in. He'll spread out his arms, and kind of fogginess will swirl up around us, and we will have a veil of shadow and silence rating with Pass Without Trace.
Sweet.
Plus 10 to all your stealth checks if you stay within
Nice.
30 feet.
Hashtag never
Yeah.
question Jim Davis.
That's all right. It's one of those things where I don't know.
That's why Jim's the DM, man.
Idiot
That's
savant with this stuff. I wish that I remembered real life things that were useful the way I remember D&D
Dude,
rules.
nobody can remember 100% of all the spells all the times for all the systems. Like
That
give me
sounds like a
break.
challenge. Like, challenge
I
accepted.
know. They're like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
What? How dare you? How dare you, sir?
The internet cries out with nerd rage.
Right. Cody inadvertently starts the war.
Oh shit! There we go.
All right, so we've got a Pass Without Trace on, which is a super awesome spell. Not just gives you a +10, but I do believe it prevents certain magical
Tracking.
forms. Yeah, tracking.
You don't leave tracks, can't be tracked. Yeah.
Right. So you guys like pass through this water without making ripples in it, that kind of thing. And
dope.
there is an old decrepit looking archway with like cracked bricks and a bunch of like weird fungusy moldy stuff on it. Not harmful as your druid here would be able to tell, but certainly gross and slimy.
We'll also need the drift globe so we can see.
Yes, that's very true.
Okay.
But there is only one exit that you can see out of this cistern.
All right.
Can I get a marching order from you guys?
Well, I mean, I don't mind being out front to kind of, scout ahead.
Okay.
I'll probably be closer to the
Yep.
back.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be within 30 feet of Jardon, so I'm rocking a +19 right now to my stealth.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Within the radius of the drift globe, so you can see. Let's go ahead and make some stealth rolls. If just to kind of see where we're at. Once again, I've closed out your character sheet for reasons unknown to anybody. Excuse me. I don't know if the mic picked up on that. That was a burp, ladies and gentlemen.
Brought to you by Subway. What are we doing?
Yeah. So let's see here. That would be 9 or 19. So we're looking at what? A 35 for Robin Steele's stealth check. 27 for Jardon. Anybody else need me to make a roll for him for stealth?
Please, sir. Got a lot of
I rolled-
overlays going on at the moment.
No problem.
I rolled, but it didn't show up. All right, there we go.
Still learning here. Still getting the feel for it.
For some reason, my rolls
they're
aren't
35.
showing up.
You got to roll in the box on the left in the chat box.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm dropping it in the wrong spot. Story of my life.
No
There we
worries.
go.
So that would be adding 10 to that, 26. So
Yeah.
Joego has the lowest at 26. You guys are like ghosts moving through the sewers here without making ripples in the water, and you're like surprising rats and things
Yeah.
like that.
As we start out, I turn to Jordan. Jordan, let Joego go first. Joego have good eyes in dark.
If you think so, remember though, scary things here. Be careful.
Joego, be careful. Thank you, Jordan.
You guys traveled maybe 60 feet or so down this sort of like arched corridor. On either side of you, there's a 3-foot sort of walkway, just wide enough that you can walk without actually getting in the water. You're kicking over, the detritus of urban life that's made its way down here. Treasures, surely, that have been forgotten about by the surface dwellers. And then sort of down the middle of this corridor, there is a deep channel where the water runs through. The whole thing's probably 10 feet wide, maybe a little bit more than that. Jogo's having a bit of a difficulty. It is not built for half ogres. And so the entire thing at its tallest is probably 5.5 feet. So I don't know how tall you guys are. You might have to stoop, crouch a little. Not particularly comfortable.
Well, I'm in stealth mode, so I am crouched.
Yes, right.
That's how you have to be like on stream for the whole time.
Yeah.
He toggled stealth mode. So I think that you guys are traveling down about 60 feet or so, and as you get towards the end of this 60-foot stretch, you can see that there is a torchlight flickering coming from your left. Looks like you're approaching some kind of intersection.
Do we hear anything, or is it just the light?
You do not hear anything. And I guess real quick, everybody tell me what everybody's passive perceptions are. I know you guys got some ridiculous ones because we've got an observant and expertise and stuff going on.
17.
17 for Robin.
21.
Passive.
Jardon.
21 for Jardon. Passive perception.
19.
19.
16.
Jeez. 16 through 21. Yeah, you guys spot the torchlight like gangbusters. You're like, that's torchlight. And everybody's like, yeah, that's torchlight. But you haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. I will continue sneaking closer, preparing my hand crossbow.
Okay. As you get closer, you can see two shadows flick across the wall. Sort of like they look like maybe people ran across whatever light source there was there. And as you actually get to the intersection, you see it's sort of a T intersection. Same deal. It's a arched tunnel, sort of two narrow walkways on the side, and then a channel that runs down the middle with dirt and water and all kinds of sewery business going on, and it's flowing to the left. So if you're looking at the way the water is flowing, there's a slight downward angle. None of y'all are dwarves. That doesn't matter. It's important. You can see that the water is flowing towards the left. So Robin, on point, you get to this intersection.
And the torchlight is coming from which direction?
The left.
From the left.
Correct.
Okay. So downstream.
Yep.
Well, gonna kind of look back. Want to go and just kind of point to the left. Like, do we want to go downstream? Basically, I think I would have taught them just to not all of thieves can't, but some hand gestures. I'm thinking. So I'm just gonna kind of be like left, and then we'll go to the left. I assume.
Go to the left. You looking down, just sort of at the very edge of your vision, where you can see, it looks like there's a grate or a barred door of some kind. You can see through it, like a portcullis grate or something. That's been shoddily constructed in this tunnel.
Okay.
Like I said, it's just beyond the limits of your vision. What are you guys continuing on? You're gonna stop, do anything different? Yeah.
Can I can see a little bit further than the rest of the group. Do I see anything different?
You see that the sort of the, what you call it, the door, or the cage door is what it looks like, that it
Portcullis?
extends across the tunnel. Portcullis, except it doesn't look like it raises. It doesn't look like it raises up.
Great. It's just a grate at that point.
It's like a grate. Yeah, it looks suspiciously like the grate that, not exactly like the grate that Joego ripped up, but a grate like that, that's been shoddily bolted into the walls.
Does this look like any kind of construction from other undercity dwellers might do something like this?
Yeah, a lot of this kind of haphazard and ad hoc construction goes on down here. Repurposed furniture gets turned into construction material. Yeah, you see this kind of stuff all the time.
From goblins or
goblins, sometimes,
anything lives down here.
Anything that lives down here. Yeah.
Okay.
But how fresh does this construction look, though?
Well, you're a little bit far away to make that kind of determination right just now.
Well,
but Joego can tell, because you can see a bit further, that it doesn't look like it extends down into the water. It looks like it like prevents any foot traffic along the narrow walkways. And unless you guys do anything different, you will eventually arrive there.
Yeah, I'll just keep moving, staying with the light in the group.
Okay. You see another flicker cross the light, and it's sort of another humanoid shadow crossing the light source. And at this point, those of you who are up front, so Robin and Joego, can hear whispering, but can't quite make out what it is that someone's saying.
Okay. Does it sound like it's coming from further down the tunnel?
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from further down the tunnel.
Hmm.
And it looks like maybe 30 feet or so beyond where this grate is, that there's another large cistern of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the light source is. That's where you can hear the whispering.
Okay, I'll make sure to kind of signal to everybody to make sure they know that we at least have heard something. Don't know if they have or not.
Okay. Yeah, eventually everybody can hear it. It's sort of like just a hushed, you know know how it is. You can sort of hear something, can't quite make it out, and then there's a barely audible shh, and then it goes quiet.
So I grasp the grate and I look over at Robin and I shrug my shoulders.
I'll look at him and I'll just shrug back and be like,
okay, with that, I will rage. But first, taking my spectacles off, put them in my pocket. And I will rage and try to rip off the doors.
All
the
right.
grate.
Now silence.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll try and roll with advantage.
Yep.
All right. And ooh.
Boom. There we
How
go.
about that?
There we go. That's
How about that?
Yeah, Joego just like this. I mean, if someone wanted to get past this thing, it would be, they could get past it. But you just like effortlessly rip this thing out of the shoddy construction that put it up here, clearing the way for your companions. And I do believe that is where we will pick it up with our first session on August 2nd. There's someone or something in that cistern up ahead of you. And we will kick things off with the action when we actually get to it. I'm going to call it a session. It's getting kind of late for me here. I've had a great time. I don't know, Cody, if there's anything we want to do to wrap up.
Yeah, we're going to cover a couple of quick little items here. So the first off is we want to give a special thank you to pyromancers.com and to Fantasy Grounds for helping make this whole thing possible. So full disclosure, they're sponsoring the show, and we really appreciate them, and they make really kick-ass products. If you guys haven't checked out Pyromancers, I actually did a video on it a while back now to show that off a bit. But we're really thankful to those guys for making the channel, or making this whole project possible. And if you guys don't know, August the 2nd will be our launch. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. We're building things up. We'll get some social things going, and you guys will be able to check us out there. And then, of course, one last person that I want to plug is Olga, our artist. If you guys are appreciating all the amazing art right here, Olga is, she's worked with Wizards of the Coast. You might recognize her work in Storm King's Thunder back there. She's fantastic, and I'll put a couple links down in the chat to her pages, and she does do commissions. So if you guys like the art, she's not sponsoring us or anything like that, but she's just an incredible artist, and I think that certainly we should give her some love here. So that's all I got. If you guys want to maybe go over your YouTube channels and whatnot for those who might know some of us and not others, or not, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I don't have anything else on my end other than to say we will kick things off with an initiative roll on the 2nd, so don't be late for that one. Be there, or I'm not going to say be square because that's freaking lame.
But that's what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking. I'll be honest, it's what I was thinking, and I'm mad at myself that that's where I went, but I did. It's late here. Yeah, that's it. It was great playing with you guys, and
yeah,
I need a
thanks
catchy sign-off phrase, don't I?
Yeah, we got to work on one of those. But Jim, I want to thank you for running the game.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
For Dave from Nerdarchy joining us, both guys from WebDM, Jim and Jonathan there, and for Cody over at Taking20 for putting this all together.
Absolutely. Yes.
hells yeah.
It's an honor.
It's been a good time.
And for everybody that showed up to watch us for this secret stream,
Hell
I
yes.
don't know what our numbers were like, how many people were watching. Looks like we got up to 79. That's pretty sweet. Really appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, definitely awesome, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Follow us all on social media if you want to stay in tune for the next one, as well as look for Save or Dice on social media. It is the Save or Dice show on Twitter for reasons.
Yes, for reasons.
For reasons. Just like the WebGM show is on Twitter. Like, for reasons.
For reasons. But yeah, sounds great.
Give us some feedback in the comments, certainly, and message us about this show, how we can add in your ideas and your feedback and what you're enjoying. We're playing it online so you guys can watch it, enjoy it. I think it's big for everyone, and we love your input on that too.
Also, I do want to quickly throw in that definitely be sure to follow the Twitter, because we might be announcing some fun contests and getting some fun feedback from you guys where you might be able to impact the setting and impact the world and help us create this crazy awesome thing that Jim Davis is just spewing forth from his mind like a madman. So definitely go check that stuff out, because we'll have some cool stuff coming there.
One minor thing, right? 9 p.m. Eastern time?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
9 p.m. Eastern.
And Eastern Daylight Time when appropriate.
Yes.
When appropriate.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
We're
out of here.
Who's ready to go watch some Game of Thrones?
Yeah, man.
We bid you guys adieu. Take care.
Yeah.
Night.
Later.